Hello, welcome to CryptoZag. This is my new webpage for the purpose of spreading the word about cryptocurrencies, blockchain technology, this new world that we're approaching, especially going into 2018, where people that do not have access to things that you and I may take for granted, like bank accounts or monies or loans or what have you, that's going to change. On an international level, that's going to change. As long as there is internet, there will be blockchain. As long as there's blockchain, there will be Bitcoin. As long as there's companies like Bitcoin or currencies like Bitcoin online, they'll give people a chance to have access to money, to a lifestyle for their family, to provide for their families, and to do all the things that, again, many of us, especially from my hometown of Los Angeles, California, take advantage of. I mean, not advantage of, but we just take for granted, right? And advantage of. So I want to talk about that. It's called remittances. This company, SureRemit, is in the business of remittances using blockchain technology. What is remittances? Let me explain. If I want to send money to a family member or friend in another country, which happens quite a bit. I mean, there's a multi-billion-dollar business every year. Billions of dollars is spent on the sole purpose of just trying to get money to a family member that needs it. On an international level, that is remittances. And I think the biggest remittance company that we probably know, that you know and that I know, is Western Union. Western Union, they've been around for years. I go to their office, I'll fill out a form. I say I want to send this $200 to a friend in Brazil, in northern Brazil, and I'd like to make sure that they get the money in a timely fashion. And so Western Union, I think they do it like within an hour or something like that. And then on the other end, they just show their ID or show some kind of code or something, and then they have access to that money. The problem is with that is that it's expensive. Every time I send that $200, I'm going to have to pay $20, 10%, somewhere around the 10% mark to get that money to them. So they're, in actuality, they may only be getting $180, or I'm out of $220. And what if I have to do this on a regular basis? What if I have to do this once a week, once a month, once a day? And blockchain technology was invented for the purpose of this sort of change. This is the whole purpose of it. People associate blockchain with Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is just the first experiment of something that pretty much opened the floodgates to many different technologies that are currently being developed and that will continue to be developed. So I am a big fan of this particular company called SureRemit because they are focused on sending money in the form of vouchers to anyone that needs it from point A to point B, and them getting the 100% of the money, not 70%, 90%, 80%, no fraction thereof, but actually 100% of it. And all you need is an iPhone and an Android phone to use it. So that would include anybody and everybody around the world. Number one, cheap remittances. Zero fee remittances with SureRemit. You can rest assured that the recipient gets equal value for the amount spent. That needs no explanation, but that's the wonderful thing. As I just said, 100% of the money goes directly to them. Number two, instant delivery. Access instant digital shopping vouchers, which are on your phone or your iPhone or your Android, for retail stores across the world, okay, and pay hundreds of utility bills in the app. So literally, they have a phone bill they need to pay, the voucher, they walk into the phone company, they hand them the voucher clears them directly, and all they get their phone connected, or paid, I should say. And they don't have to wait any time for that because the transaction is instantaneous based on blockchain. Number three, better control. You no longer have to hope that the money sent is used for what it was intended. You can send e-vouchers for specific needs and view redemption details. So within the app, you can actually get details of the purpose of the monies that were spent, because you're not actually sending money. And generally, when you're trying to change currencies is where costs come into effect, where you get charged. Banks will charge you fortunes, small fortunes, to just to hand money to someone that needs it. That's how they make their money, and that's big business. And it's just a ripoff, you guys. If I'm sending money, I don't pay for anything, and the person that's receiving it doesn't pay anything outside of the money that they sent. That's it. Beautiful. Now, this particular company has a coin sale, pre-coin sale, that's happening as we speak. Coin sale, token sale, you probably heard this term before. It's all about coins that are available online for you to buy to help out, or not to help, but to participate and invest in a company that you like, okay? Some people confuse tokens with coins. There's a slight difference between the two, but for the most part, you have to look at tokens like stocks. If you're buying Apple stocks, then it's kind of like buying tokens in that space. But since it's all transparent, you're able to see the value of that stock or that token that is being traded online. You can trade tokens, you can do all these things, but you don't need any middleman at all. You don't need anybody to trade those tokens for you. These tokens have value, just like stocks do. You buy an Apple stock, if it goes up, you make money. Same thing with tokens. You buy tokens in cryptocurrency, blockchain space, they go up. They can go up, they can go down. It just really all depends. So if you're going to spend money, why don't you spend money to make money, obviously, and then if you also have a giving heart, why not invest into a platform or a coin that has value for both, where you make money on it as it grows, and people are actually helped because of the technologies being built because of the investment that you've made. Now, what this company, I discovered this company just by chance a couple of weeks ago, but what kept me really reading about this company is this word right here, Stellar. Stellar is another company that is held by this gentleman here. CEO is Jed McCaleb. Now, Jed McCaleb is one of the leaders of Ripple. If anybody doesn't know who Ripple is a remittance company as well. But their focus is not necessarily for what Jed was interested in doing. Okay, Jed had an interest in doing remittances for people that needed it. Like countries of people that don't have access to bank accounts, that don't have access to lending institutions, none of that. They may live in a small farm someplace and they just need money just to pay for, supplies and stuff so they can make it through the winter or through some season of some sort, or what have you. I mean, they just are trying to get money from their family, through like a Western Union type companies. He wanted Ripple to go that direction, but Ripple decided to go a different direction where they decided to go towards banks that wanted to focus on, getting money out of the country for cheaper than what the banking fees are currently. And so, because he was bumping heads with some of the other, head people within their company, he decided to leave. And so I think they had a dispute. I think maybe a few weeks, months, maybe a few months passed, and they ended up buying him out for over $1 million. I know it was over $1 million. And he laid low for a while, and then he decided, I still want to do this. I still want to help. I still want to help in this remittance aspect of it, and he wanted to take that on. So he made this company called Stellar, and Stellar is of that purpose. Stellar is a company that's designed for remittances. So let me read about Stellar and let you know what this is about. Stellar is a decentralized hybrid blockchain that is fully open source. It is infrastructure that exists to facilitate cross-asset transfers of value, including payments. With just one integration into the Stellar network, you will join an open global financial network where all actors, and this is the important part to me, with all actors, be they people, payment networks, or banks, have equal access and economic participation. That is the reason why you should put your tokens into this company. Anything that Stellar is doing, anything that Jeb's doing, definitely take a look at. Definitely, I suggest you get into if you're a person that likes to give away to worthy causes, to help people out and that whole thing. You can't look for a better project to work on than anything that Stellar's up to. And again, remittance, SureRemit being one of those projects.
Hi everyone, I'm the co-founder of Stellar.org. I'm going to talk about creating the internet for payments. Today, payments are actually pretty broken, and this might not seem obvious because on your cell phone you can pay for your car and your hotel, and it all seems pretty easy. But if you look if you dig a little deeper and try to do a little more, there's still some pretty big fundamental problems. And let me give you a couple of examples. So imagine this man here, Tavi, that maybe lives in Atlanta and wants to send money back to his family in Thailand, but he can only afford to send 20 bucks at a time back. But in order to do this, his bank will charge him more than that to send the money, so obviously it's not really possible. And even if his bank did charge a reasonable amount, then his mother doesn't have a bank account, and so on her end, it would involve, like getting the money for her to actually get the money would involve other people and more time and more expense. And another example is imagine a factory in China that needs to supply an oil refinery in Nigeria. And in order for this factory to get paid, the money will take over a week to reach them, right? And so this has all kinds of repercussions for the factory because it limits the amount of productivity it limits how productive they can be because, they in turn have suppliers, and so it limits their cash flow. And this is 2016. You would think that all of these things would be a lot smoother.
Okay, I wanted to play a bit of that, and that's Jed McCaleb. As you can tell, he's a very, very dedicated individual that is about and knows his stuff very much about this, and I think you guys should know who he is and what he's doing and that whole thing. I will put in the show notes his information. That is what I wanted to show you. It's called SureRemit. I'll put all that information down so you can find it, and thank you for watching. See you next time.